Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is your favorite model, host, entrepreneur, and founder of Sour. It's Alia here. I'm here with another video. I told y'all I'm back. I'm back. I want to talk to y'all about hijab. I want to finally open up about my hijab journey and what process I went through to wear hijab and what I went through, whatever, like everything hijab. I've been straying away from this topic just because it makes me super emotional. Honestly, a lot of things in my journey of Islam in the beginning, my first like few 8 months, makes me super emotional because in that time when you revert to Islam, Allah tests if you trust Him, if you have loyalty, if when things get hard, are you gonna run to Him or are you gonna run away to the things that you used to do? And so I want to talk to y'all about hijab because I see a lot of born Muslims, they always make comments about how reverts get on our deen and we put hijab on and we are heavy on the deen once we take shahada and things like that. And the first thing that I will say is, we know what it feels like to be lost. We know what it feels like to have nothing. Whether that be lost emotionally, mentally, physically, religiously, whatever it is, we know how that feels because we weren't guided, because we didn't know what Islam was. We didn't know who Allah is. We didn't know the 99 names of Allah. We didn't know any of that. And so once we find Islam, and I've said this before, once we find Islam, it's like there's a weight that is lifted off of our shoulders and we don't want to go back and put that weight on. And so we take advantage of the fact that we have all of this knowledge and that we know that we have a God who forgives us, who loves us, and Allah doesn't love everybody. So you got to work hard. You know what I'm saying? And when I first heard that Allah does not love everybody, I was like, what? Like, you're crazy. Because in Christianity, they told me Jesus loved everybody. And all you had to do was repent and you... No. So I just want to tell y'all born Muslims, if you are struggling with hijab, you don't want to wear hijab for whatever reason, put yourself in our shoes and think about if you had nothing. Think about if you was just walking in this world blindly. As a Muslim yourself, think about if your spot in hell was already marked for you. Just think as if you don't have a spot in Jannah. Just think about that. I know it's very, very harsh to say, but just think about that. One method of shaitan is for you to automatically assume that you're going to Jannah. Because when you already assume that, you're cocky, you're arrogant, you don't really care about how you treat people and the things that you say and the things that you do. Just imagine that in the religion that we came from. We all automatically thought that we were going to go to heaven just because we asked for forgiveness, and that's it. So just think about it in that manner, and don't beat yourself up because a lot of the things that we went through, you will never understand. So don't compare yourself to a revert. You can use a revert as reference, as guidance, as motivation, but do not compare yourself to a revert because you will never understand. You should never want to understand what it is that we went through before Islam, and then that gap period of, I call it hazing. Allah was hazing us to see if we trusted Him. For anybody that's new here, my name is Alia. I reverted to Islam last year, 2023. I'm about to hit a year, April 28, inshallah. And I put my hijab on in July of 2023. I don't remember the exact date. I was not ready to wear hijab. I know a lot of people are like, what? I was not ready. I was not ready. I wish I would have never met some of the girls that I met who bullied me when they introduced me to hijab. So let me rewind. I was taught the Deen by Arabs. And y'all, like, once you in a religion, like, you'll start to learn stuff. I know you'll hear a lot of stuff, but you'll start to learn it as you go. So don't rush yourself. I started flourishing in modeling. I moved to Los Angeles and I was getting every single thing that I wanted to get. I was around the celebrities. I was at the parties. I was networking. I was getting the jobs, the bookings. I was happy, yo. I was happy. And my friends back home, the ones who helped me like revert and everything, they stopped talking to me for about a month and a half when I moved to California. And they stopped liking my pictures. They stopped commenting, you know, under my photos. We're in like a group chat. It's like 23 of us. Every time I like sent a message, they wouldn't respond. Just very passive aggressive energy. And I didn't really understand why. Like I knew part of it was because, you know, I was posting pictures with my body, but I was in LA. It was the summertime. You know, I had just reverted. I didn't know about all that extra stuff. Like I was like, you know, I'm a Muslim now. Like my main focus right now is to understand what the heck I just reverted to. You know, like I understood the basics of Islam, and I understood that there was one God, but I didn't care to know all the rest of that stuff at one time, because you're going to be Muslim the rest of your life. So there was no need to rush. So they ended up stopped talking to me for a while. And one day, one of my friends called me, and she just, you know, checked in on me and was like, how are you? Like, you know, we haven't talked to you in a while. And I was like, yeah, like, what's going on? And she's a revert as well. And she told me, she was just like, not gonna lie, Alia, like, we really don't know what to tell you. Like, we've been seeing that you've been posting your body, you've been posting like you at parties, even though, you know, we know that you're not drinking, you still have a representation of a red cup in your hand, or you're around people with red cup, just doing the most. But y'all, when I tell y'all this story, this is not me by any means necessarily talking about them or anything backbiting. This is me just telling y'all my experience. So she told me, she was just like, Alia, we really just didn't know what to tell you. We didn't know what to talk to you about. We didn't know how to tell you that we were uncomfortable watching you, you know, post this type of stuff, and all of that. Like, we really didn't have, we lost faith in you when you left to California. Like, you're a new Muslim. We don't know if you're praying. We don't know, yada, yada, yada. Like, all this, like, things. And I was like, okay, like, you know, like, wow. Like, wow. Like, I didn't really know how to take all that information, right? So I ended up getting on a group FaceTime call with everybody, and they basically was like, Alia, like, we cannot support you. They were like, we cannot support you. We cannot support the things that you post. We can't even like them. Like, we can't even like your pictures. You said that you want a husband, but any good Muslim man will not marry you at this stage of your life. Now, mind y'all, I was 1-2 months as a Muslim, 1 to 2 months as a Muslim, 1 to 2 months as a Muslim. So at this time, like, this was like the first Muslim friends that I ever met. So I was telling my mom like what they were saying, and my mom kept saying like, those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. And I kept telling my mom like, Ma, these my friends. Like, Ma, they Muslim. They just have really, really good intentions for me. Like, they just want to see me succeed. They just want to see me prosper. Like, that's it, Ma. Like, it's my mom. I promise you. My mom kept saying, all right, well, when it comes back to bite you in the booty, I'm just letting you know that no matter what happens, Mama's gonna always be here for you. You never want to listen to me, but I'm trying to tell you, Mama been alive longer than you. So whatever, I didn't listen to my mom. Fast forward, I ended up archiving all of my photos. I ended up archiving all of my photos while I was on FaceTime with one of the girls, and I just felt sick. I isolated myself for a while. And I didn't want to talk to anybody because I was so confused. And the girls that I met when I was in Los Angeles, I vented to them and told them about how I felt and what was going on with the girls telling me. And they kept telling me, those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand because I was so new to Islam. I just thought like, these Arab girls, these Desi girls, they have my best interest at heart. I didn't understand, y'all. I promise, wallahi, I didn't. And I ended up going ghost on everybody. I started practicing hijab. And in that time, I was practicing modesty. I literally just went everywhere with the hijab, went everywhere with long sleeve, really tried my hardest not to wear fitted clothes. Like I tried my hardest. And in that time of me practicing and ghosting everybody, I was going through really hard, like really bad hardship in my housing situation while I was in Los Angeles. So I was depressed. I was super depressed. I wasn't booking any jobs with my agency because I didn't have any photos up on my Instagram. My agency wasn't really like, you know, they weren't really helping me at all. So it was just like I was a tiny fish in this big giant city, just reverted to Islam, super confused, friends not talking to me, modeling careers not going the way it was supposed to be. And I had just drove 21 hours from Texas all the way to Cali. So y'all, I was spiraling. And when I tell y'all the isolation that Allah forced upon me, forced me to be so heavily on my deen, that is why I can sit in front of this camera and tell y'all I've been a Muslim less than a year. And I wouldn't change anything that happened. I would change the way that I responded. But I know that all of that stuff had to happen so that I can be this strong. So that I could have this much tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that I could follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to my best ability, to the best of my knowledge. And so that I can seek more knowledge each and every day. Y'all, I was depressed. I was sick. I kept asking Allah for forgiveness for all the haram relationships that I used to be in, for all the curse words that I used to say, for all the aggression that I held in my heart, for all the hardship that I went through, and I was just ungrateful and I didn't understand. I was asking Allah for forgiveness for leaving my home, for just being mean to my sisters. I was asking Allah for forgiveness, and y'all, I caught pneumonia. I got pneumonia at the time where I was worrying about modesty and trying to wear hijab. I got pneumonia. And I got pneumonia so bad that when I finally went to the hospital, the doctor told me that if I had waited a few more days, then I would have been hospitalized. I also have asthma, so my lungs sounded so bad. It sounded like I was smoking cigarettes for about 15 years. Like I kid y'all not. Like I could go like this, and you would hear her. Like literally, it was nothing but like cold coming up, like sick. I had a fever. When I would pray, closing my eyes, it would feel like I was just about to collapse. To the point where when I went to the masjid to pray, I would want to step out of prayer mid-Jum'ah and go sit down because I felt like I was about to die, literally. And so I went through that, and in that time, nobody was there for me. Nobody was there. My mom, she didn't want me to wear hijab. She thought it was stupid. She was like, you just started this religion. You don't know the religion from A to Z. Why would you mess up 5 years of modeling, your modeling career? Why would you mess that up just to wear hijab? I don't understand. You're beautiful. I spoke to my agency about it. My agency was like, you know, I needed to be more than just a pretty face because my entire body was what was selling. My skin complexion was what was marketing me. That was what was marketable when I got here. I finally made the decision to wear hijab. And before I made that decision, I took back control of the narrative of what hijab was. Instead of it being y'all passive aggressively bullied me into wearing hijab, while I had pneumonia, while I was worrying about what the heck I was going to do, before I knew that once you ask for forgiveness, Allah will make you sick, before I even knew that, I prepared myself for this new journey of my life. So I went ghost. I made the intention. I made dua. I prayed. I cried. I went to the gym. I dressed modest. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I had a journal where I made a T-chart. And on one side, I wrote down every single reason why I wanted to wear hijab. And on the other side, I wrote down what was stopping me from wearing hijab. One of those reasons why I wanted to wear hijab was because before I was Muslim, I had so much access to men. I don't even feel embarrassed to say that, because y'all know I'm beautiful. Say mashallah. But I feel like a part of the reason why I was so insecure growing up was because I was always one of those girls that dress modest. I've always been curvy, so I never wanted to wear, you know, things that were revealing until I got to college when everybody was doing it. So I felt like I had to do it so that I could feel beautiful and so that I could be chosen. So, yeah. One of those reasons why I put the hijab on was to protect me, to protect myself from men. It was so that if a man approached me, I could remember that I have this hijab on my head and it represents Islam. That Allah decreed for me to wear this. So I'm not finna embarrass myself while I wear hijab. That was one of the reasons. One of the reasons why I didn't want to put it on was because of my modeling career. Was because I felt like I was going to be too hot. Was because I felt like I didn't have any fashion. All of the reasons why I didn't want to put it on was stupid. Wallahi, it was so stupid. Because how was I going to go to the club? How was I going to, you know what I'm saying? Putting it on gives you discipline. And a lot of y'all don't want discipline. A lot of y'all don't want to sit down somewhere in a corner of the masjid and spend your Friday night at the masjid reading the Quran. A lot of y'all don't want to do that because you're scared. Because it's new to you. And you don't know what it is that's going to come after that. You don't know who you're going to lose. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't care. Once I changed that narrative, or y'all bullied me, or y'all forced that upon me, once I changed that narrative and took control back into my life and said, okay, if this is something that Allah has decreed for me, let me figure out why on earth I am willing to do this. And I said, Allah, I don't know what the heck you made me come to LA for if you was just going to make me take my hijab, put my hijab on. But I'm going to give up my modeling career for you. I'm going to give it up and maybe you'll bring me something better. I was literally ready and willing to give up every single thing that I knew, everything that I worked so hard for, just to be modest, just for Allah to love me. Just so that when Allah seen me, he was proud. And that I could focus on this religion that I loved. You struggling with hijab in a dunya that Allah created. For people that Allah created. For actions that Allah created to test to see if you really cared about getting into Jannah. Whether you wear the hijab properly or not. Your intention was to. So once I started wearing hijab, I started wearing it like the girls. I had my ears covered all the way down. I never wore earrings. My neck was covered all the way, like, y'all, I'm talking about, I was stressed. I mean, I was stressed to the max because I'm curvy. Everything I wore, I was like, they said I can't have my body showing. I'm wearing stuff making me look like a man. I'm wearing hoodies. But every single time I struggled, I said, this day, because I made the intention, because I struggled, Allah marked this day as I wore the hijab. Just because I made the intention. Just because I struggled. I got barakah for it. Once I started finding my people, I started seeing that they didn't wear hijab the way that the Arabs wore it, the way that the Desis wore it. They wore it whatever way they saw fit. They wore it either like this. They wore it pinned to the back, neck out, collarbone. They wore, you know what I'm saying, sleeve all the way down. Like, it was so many different ways I would see. Even Indonesian people. Some of them wear it, all you see is this. They look like they're in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? But it was so many ways that I was noticing people were wearing hijab. And once again, I had to change the narrative to whatever was comfortable for me. Because what I realized was every time somebody told me something, I was getting pissed off. I was getting mad. Don't tell me nothing about this because I don't know if I don't know if it's coming from your heart or if it's coming from jealousy. I don't know if it's coming from the book or it's coming from your culture. Don't tell me anything. And that's when I had to sit down and check myself and listen to Omar Salaman. That's when I had to really, really check myself, because I was like, I don't know if I feel like this shaitan. I feel like shaitan want me to isolate myself. And it was giving me Christianity. It was giving me the culture of Christianity. Being around people who just talk, and want you to do what it is that they think is best, but you're not happy at the end of the day. That's what it was given. And it was very, very fearful for me. It was something that really, really scared me. So I really had to lock in. Fast forward, after I became hijabi, I got dropped from my agency. I know a lot of people saw that. I got dropped from my agency and they basically told me social media was best, whatever. And I didn't give up. I be trying really, really hard to understand why born Muslims struggle with the things that Allah has provided for us. I know how hard it can be. Trust me. I know how hard it can be, y'all. 5 years of my life, I worked tremendously hard to model everything that I wanted. Even while I was in college, I graduated a year early just so that I could move to LA. When Allah moved me to LA, it wasn't because I was praying to model. Allah moved me to LA to isolate me and force me to be on my Deen. You need to be isolated. Everything that you have right now, may Allah take it away from you. May Allah take it away from you, crumble you up in a ball, and force you to crawl to Him. I mean, and I know that sounds so harsh to say, but it breaks my heart so bad to know that a lot of my sisters are struggling with wearing hijab. And this is coming from somebody who had their body out, who partied, who drank, who smoked, who was in relationships. This is coming from somebody that did that. So I don't want y'all to think I didn't do that. I did it. I have days where I go on my phone and I watch the videos like, oh my God, you used to look so beautiful. I still do. And one of the things that really, really keeps me going is the fact that you cannot have access to me. You cannot have access to me the way that you used to. And on top of that, the men come at me correct. I know a lot of y'all like, please, he don't come. You need to get from around them. You don't need to be around no men that don't come at you correct. Literally. And the men that don't come at you correct, check them. Y'all, check them. How crazy out your mind? I be checking them in every time. Excuse me, brother. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And one thing I always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for is to guide and help any sister that is struggling with hijab. Because I really genuinely want to know, what are you scared of? What preparations are you taking for yourself to make it easier for you to start this journey? Who are you hanging around? What advice are they giving you? I want to know. Because y'all, I did this by myself. I did it by myself. Listen to me. Y'all have family. Y'all have friends. Y'all have people that you can look up to. What is stopping you? What is scaring you? What do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take away from you if you choose Allah? Let me tell you one of the greatest things about wearing hijab. You're not in those surroundings that you don't need to be in. You won't catch me at a club. That's not to say, oh, you better than me or I'm better than you or nothing. That's just to say I would be way too embarrassed to walk in the club with a hijab. I went to a art exhibit 2 months ago wearing hijab, and I was already scared because people had champagne. And I'm so glad, alhamdulillah, that Allah pushed me to go to that event, because the amount of dawah I gave to people who knew nothing about Islam is insane. I put my hijab on because I wanted people to know that I was Muslim. I wanted women to come at me with respect. I wanted sisters to feel comfortable running to me if there was a man making them uncomfortable. I wanted people to know that I was Muslim so that they could keep me accountable. And they do that to this day. If I post a video wearing some skin tight, you know how many people say something to me? I don't like it if it don't come from the right people, if it don't come with the right intention. But still, you know how many people say stuff to me? And that's them holding me accountable. You struggling to wear hijab because you don't really want to. You doing it for the wrong reasons. Once you say that you really, really want to, you will start implementing the things that you need to implement. Stop being scared. You will never be prepared to wear hijab, ever. Baby, I don't even know how long I've been a hijabi. What, 6 months? 7 months? I'm still straightening out my closet. I'm still straightening out my closet, y'all. Like, I don't got no more haram clothes up now. But I'm still finding clothes to wear. It's expensive, yeah, but it's worth it. $5,000 is nothing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. $5 billion is nothing to Allah. A club is nothing to Allah. A house is nothing to Allah. If that's what you want, ask for it. If you want to truly wear hijab, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help guide you and make it easy for you. But also implement the things that you need to do to feel comfortable, to gain confidence in wearing your hijab. Stop being so easy to give up on it. Because if Allah gave up on us the way that we give up on Allah, hey, I don't know about y'all, baby, but I would not be sitting here. Y'all have to understand, each and every prophet, peace be upon them, went through stuff that I cannot even imagine. Drowning, being told to kill your son, being set on fire, being killed, being martyred. All those things that our prophets, peace be upon them, had to go through. This is nothing. This is nothing. You should be grateful that you're struggling. You should be grateful that Allah has put that thought in your mind. I want to wear hijab, but I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. Because some people don't even think about that. Some people don't even care. But you want to take the steps. The steps that I would tell you is to isolate yourself. You could tell one friend. You could tell one friend that you want to start wearing hijab. Make sure you trust that friend, and make sure on the days that you do a good job, that friend rewards you. I don't know if y'all into words of affirmation, but when you wear hijab, you need it. When you try it, you need to. Make sure that one friend does not beat you up. Does not tell you, oh, I thought you was wearing hijab. Oh, you decided. No, get away from them. Go ghost, number 2. Go ghost. You don't need to tell nobody what you're doing. But 3, make the intention. Number 4, make dua. Number 5, start practicing modesty. Number 6, look at the reasons why you put hijab on. Remind yourself that you got it. You got it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cheering for you. I'm cheering for you, and everybody else is. And your angel. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, share it to your friends, share it to your mama, share it to your sister, everybody. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to DM or email me. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to make dua, and you will be okay. I promise you, you'll be okay. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your journey easy. Ameen. May Allah reward you for all the hardship that you go through with this process. May Allah reward you for each and every day you get up and try. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Assalamu alaikum, guys.